Hi there, fellow travelers and couch travelers. Today I'm in Gerhagen, a beautiful nature reserve here in Flanders in Belgium. It's a pretty beautiful day, though we just lost our kitty. A car crashed into it, and yeah, well, you can see the kitty in one of our videos. It's a huge loss, and me and Caro are still processing. Anyways, we're here, we're in Belgium, we're looking for like some way to earn some money, a job, you know, whatever, to get us back on the road again. We want to go to Canada and the US and buy a van and all that stuff. So please follow my channel if you want to see all that. But yeah, we're here now. And so I thought, well, let's make a video on past travels. I've traveled a lot to India, so I thought, well, maybe I can just make a video on my top travel tips for India. You could probably use them all over Asia. You might have heard some of these tips, but I think some of them might be really valuable to you and are not in any YouTube video. So stay tuned for the end of the video where I share my #1 tip for traveling India on a budget. So here are my top 10 budget travel tips for India without sacrificing any of the experience. Number 10, before ordering anything, ask the price first. Sometimes when you just like take something or like people give you something, even on the street, it might be like a little scam, you know. People give you something on the street and then they say like, oh yeah, now you have it, you took it, it's this price and you have to pay it, you know, like, and you can still say no, of course, you can be harsh and all that stuff, but it's just better, in my opinion, to ask the price for anything before you touch it or take it or whatever, wear it, you know, like it's always better to know beforehand so that they can't rip you off. And then tip number 9 is to always take local transport. There's lots of options within local transport. There's even sleeper buses where you can get a bed on a bus, have a good night's sleep, save the money on your accommodation, and arrive at the location where you want to be. And it's not a lot more expensive than just a cedar bus. You also have beds on a train, so you can book like a second AC sleeper class or whatever, pretty cheap, and you have a bed to sleep in while you travel. Then when you arrive, taking a rickshaw also can save lots of money, but be sure to haggle about the price beforehand, just so you know how much you're gonna pay and they don't rip you off. You can always tell the rickshaw driver to put on the meter, and that way you know it's fair. Then number 8 is travel off season. Prices of accommodation can be double or triple what you normally pay during the off season. And like you might not even find accommodation in some places, so then prices definitely go up. Traveling during off season is not only cheaper but can also be beautiful. Lots of people are afraid of traveling during the monsoon and the rainy season. Um, but so, like most of the time the rainy season is like 1 or 2 hours a day and everything is green and beautiful and smells great. So yeah, I would give that as a recommendation. Number 7 is a very important one and saves me and Caro a lot of money. We travel on about $10 a day in India, or we did at least on our last trip. And this was a major um, budget saving tip. And that is just to like always split costs, always find a travel partner to share accommodation with, share a cab with. Sometimes we even share a meal when we're not that hungry and we take like just a roadside meal and we share it, you know, and that way we save a lot of money. Number 6. Number 6 is to haggle, haggle, haggle. You almost always have to haggle. Maybe not for food, but for whatever you get. We haggle for prices of rooms, especially if we stay a longer time. We have haggle for clothes, for gear, whatever it is, you know. And if prices of something seem outrageous, they probably are. And you'll get used to the prices while by traveling longer. Just if it's your first time to India, haggling might feel a little bit strange, but people give you a higher price than usual. You just have to haggle. You just have to get used to it because everybody does it. You can also look up the prices or just ask whoever, you know, like somebody from your guest house, like how much is food supposed to cost, how much is this supposed to cost. This gives you a general idea of how expensive or cheap things are over there. And that way it's easier to haggle, because if you're not sure about something, it's hard to like really haggle, and they expect you to. Then five is to eat at local restaurants or street food. Street food or local restaurants are always cheaper, and I usually tend to go for the places with a lot of locals. If a place is empty, like if I have to, but if there's a lot of people in there, lots of locals, the food mostly is great, cheap, and you had a great meal for, I don't know, maybe $1. And then yeah, street food, there's just unlimited street food in India, and it's so incredibly cheap. And like, I never really got sick of street food in India, as far as I know. Um, so yeah, I'd say go for it. Me and Caro survive on street food probably for like 50%. It depends on where we are in India, but like 50% of our meals are street food. Then number four also might seem logical, but I tend to put my focus on nature, and then like some temples. Temples are free lots of the times, but India has incredible nature. It has deserts, mountains, seas, beaches, like everything you can wish for. So you don't necessarily have to pay for stuff to do. If you like nature, it's everywhere and you can go explore it all the time. You don't have to pay. Like, of course, in a nature reserve or something, sometimes they ask for a fee, but there's so much to see completely for free. And then number three, of course, learn some basic Hindi. Not only for haggling, not only for asking for stuff, but just also that people know that you're putting in an effort to learn their language, learn their culture, and that way you also might seem like it's not your first time, if it is your first time to India. And maybe prices, like the starting price of something, are already better before haggling. If you like know how to say something in Hindi, some words, can always help. And then on number two, getting close to number one, but number two is stay in homestays, stay in local places. Don't go to the big hotels. Don't go to the chain hostels. Go to like the local homestays with your local mama and papa, and you'll have a great stay most of the time. You'll have great prices. Also, if you have a travel partner, it's mostly cheaper to rent a private room than it is to rent two bunk beds in a dormitory. Go for the private room, go to the mommy and poppy, haggle a little bit if you want, and you'll find some great spots. Also, on a side note, these places a lot of the times have or communal kitchens or complimentary breakfasts, which saves you a lot on the breakfast. Because if you have to go out and find your food and you don't know where to go, like if it's in the price and the price of the room is good, you have a good deal. And then if there's a communal kitchen, even better. You can go out, make your own fruit salad, go get some eggs, whatever. It's so fast, so easy, and so incredibly cheap to get groceries on a local market in India. Also for dinner or whatever, there's a fridge so you can keep leftovers and all that stuff. Saves so much money if you are on a tight budget. And so my number one travel tip for traveling India on a budget is something you might not expect, because like a lot of budget travel people, budget travel tips, I don't know, they would tell you the opposite, and that is to plan ahead. But I'd say, especially for India, do not always plan ahead. Okay, you can look up some stuff, you can see what the good places are on the internet and all that stuff. You can plan ahead a little bit, as long as you're willing to let the plan go and go with the Indian flow. Because that's what India is for. That's what it does. It takes you on a journey. And if you are able to listen to the signs and listen to the like people you meet and all that stuff, like the little signs that lead you on a specific road, that's the road you should follow. That's my experience. It made me go to the cheapest places. It made me go to the most beautiful places. Um, India is a perfect spot to let the universe guide you for a little while. If you believe in that or not, like just try it out, man. It's a crazy adventure to travel like that and to not have a plan and just go with it. So, yeah, that's my number one tip for sure. I wouldn't travel any other way over there. So, yeah, if you like my travel tips, if you heard some tips you didn't hadn't heard another video, let me know, subscribe to the channel and like the video. It all helps out a lot. I'm going traveling soon and I'm going to the American continent, going all around, buying a van. I have a working visa for Canada, so if you want to follow that adventure, click subscribe because I'm going to document it all and share it with you guys. See you in the next video.